Hello everybody, and welcome to another hobby live stream. I am Angela, and that is my camera really dramatically in my screen. Hold on, nope, I'm gonna fix it that way, and then I'm gonna scoot over, nope, this way. Haha! I fixed it. Now I don't have a camera dramatically in my face. Hello everybody! Welcome to today's hobby live stream. We are going to be working on some more Star Wars Legion miniatures, which you'll be able to see here shortly when I switch us back over to our normal view. However, I just figured we'd get started, having a little bit of a full screen, chatting with everybody, seeing how everyone's doing, what projects you might be working on, finding out whether or not the music is good, whether or not I sound good. Sounds like we probably do. Hello, Ben! There are unfortunately 0 cats in the room right now, and Chaos Cultist is, I think, playing Jedi Survivor in the other room. But I will tell him that you said hello, Ben. Thank you so much for being here today. All right, let's go ahead and switch us over to live, where you can see what we'll be working on today. We have some more Star Wars Legion miniatures, the same Shadow Collective that we've been working on, except today we're going to hopefully get a little bit more work specifically on this dude, but also maybe finish up this dude. I realized I didn't paint the underside of his outfit at all, but I'm not sure it's going to matter when he's actually just sitting here on a table, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. And what we're going to go ahead and do is get started on him using a little bit of Black Templar because I have a bit of black left to paint on his outfit. The rest of it, though, actually is going to get a little bit of purple, just like his leader. So I think that'll be fun. Hello, David! Welcome to the stream. Oh, a 9-day holiday? That sounds amazing, sir. I remember you mentioned that you were getting on a holiday soon. I am so glad that you get to hang out and actually relax today on the stream. That is wonderful news. Let's see, do I actually have everything? I have been very scatterbrained. It's been a morning. But we're getting back on track. And I am excited to keep working on these. Good. I'm glad that the streams are generally sounding good. That is good to know, actually. I worry, because I am cursed when it comes to technology. Absolutely bloody cursed. I literally can be handed something and then somehow manage to completely bork it up because I accidentally pressed the button on the side that really should not have been pressed, or like really should not have even been potential to press, but somehow, because it's me, I managed to do it. I'm going to zoom us in a smidge. Alright, he looks good. Excellent. And based on my reference... okay, so based on my reference, it's actually this thing that needs to be black, and I actually need to clean that up and make it purple. So we'll fix that in a second. This will be good, because when I do the rest of these troops, because this guy is just a troop, I'll be able to do it a lot faster, because I'll know exactly where I want to put all my colors. I sometimes feel like my slowness when I'm first working on a new project is partially just figuring out where do I want to put all these colors. Once I know that, it tends to go a lot smoother, which I'm sure is how it works for all of us, right? Heretical scrap code. Let's see, you've always, you're about to paint some Zombicide, undead or alive. Oh, that's really cool. That's the, that's not a newer one, is it? Has that one been out for a while for Zombicide? They make so many of them now. I'm excited for the new one, the, winter whatever, the one that has a TMT expansion that you can get with it. I talked about it in the news and I'm completely blanking on the name. It's like Winterfall or something. Not actually that, because I think it's Game of Thrones. No, that's Winterfell. I don't know. At this point, I'm just rambling names with the word winter in it to try to jog my memory, but, you know, it is what it is. But I am excited for that Zombicide. I am not going to lie to you guys. I will probably randomly bring up a bunch of different subjects today. I am feeling hyper. Maybe even a little manic. I have decided, because of this station, I absolutely adore horns. in music. I don't know where else I would adore horns. Definitely not while driving. But I had to clarify for some reason there. Hello, John. Welcome to the stream. Sir, do not be on your phone while you are at work. That is... No, 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 no. But thank you for stopping in and saying hello. Yes, White Death. That's what it is. Thank you for, like, helping me remember what the heck I was trying to talk about. Wait, they made an Iron Maiden zombicide character pack? That's perfect. That sounds so perfect. How many of you guys, did you guys get the Romero one? I guess the Undead or Alive is the Romero one, isn't it? I'm a fool. Ignore that question. Alright, that's looking good. Let's do the other side now. We need more paint. Dude, they do such good expansions for Zombicide. They're so thematically appropriate. It's great. And I just liked it when they did all the various, like, getting, you know, a bunch of big-name fantasy artists to do character designs and turning those into miniatures. Like, I thought that was cool when they were doing that for their first line of games. In fact, now that they're doing, like, all this other stuff, just so cool. Oh, that's so cool. I think that's done. What is your belt? Your belts are done in like a brownish color. Okay, that's fine. We can do that. I can do that. Now are we done with the black? So what I'm going to actually do, because I have the black out, is I'm going to... hopefully we are good. I think OBS just said that it had a disconnect, and I'm not sure why, but I'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, this is coming out well. Okay, feeling good about that. Let me bring him in. We're gonna get a much, much smaller brush. And one with a little bit of a longer bristles on it, like this one here that I have from Tamiya that I've completely destroyed. Look at this. Holy shit. Look at how much I've destroyed this brush. I have completely held it so tightly that I have worn the, I guess, painted coating sealing the wood. Good lord. Dude, I don't blame you. There is nothing wrong with buying some miniatures because you are a fan of the property that they are depicting. Like, if you were just a collector, I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're buying miniatures simply to collect miniatures because you think they're cool, and especially if you're gonna end up painting them, but even if you don't, like, more power to you, dude. You can do whatever you want. It's your money, right? What's to stop you from indulging in your hobbies? Okay, maybe responsibility. Maybe responsibility should stop you from indulging in your hobbies. Like, you know, be responsible about it. But otherwise, I feel like just, you know, do you, man. Do you. This brush has seen things. Mostly probably one of my fingernails and then pressed against like the skin of my fingers because I just grip it so hard. I notoriously hold all of my like utensils and paintbrushes and pens and stuff just really firmly in my hand. It's probably Not the most ideal, but it's what I do. And because of that, I absolutely devastated that brush. But the tip's fine, so we're keeping it. I only really replace the brushes if they just become completely unusable. I'm one of those people. Because they're so darn expensive. I always feel bad replacing them, you know? Until they're absolutely, utterly worn out. Okay. His shoes, I think, are now done. I am going to... realize that I didn't get some wash on the back side of that. So where is my Reikland's Flesh Shade that we used last time? Exactly. So as long as you got a working tip on the brush still, and you know you're not stabbing yourself as you use the handle or whatever because it's like gouging you or something, then you know keep it. Or at least that's my opinion. But yeah, the minute you start seeing that tip get worn out and you cannot fix it, that's when you got to replace the brush. That's when it really becomes important to just bite the bullet and replace it. There we go. That looks better. I want to enhance this in the center a little bit. Okay. Also, is that clasp? I think... I'm gonna make this tiny clasp that he has. Focus. Focus. You can do it. Focus. There we go. Takes it a minute to pop in. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I like that a lot more. Beautiful. Okay, I think he's pretty much done other than the base. And I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need to look and see what I did for Darth Maul. I can't actually remember what I did on Darth Maul's base. I'll have to look it up later. I need now to do a mild inspection on him. So what color is the gun? Is it just a... Oh yeah, we're just gonna put this in gray. We're just gonna paint his gun in gray. Ooh. I splashed some gray onto myself. Okay. I feel like maybe I should have painted the gun before I painted the hands, just to be safe to not get any gray on the green, but you know what? Lessons learned, guys. Lessons learned. Oh, that'll be... Yeah, so I kind of agree with, definitely make sure to check and see if you can still get the bundle, because Cool Mini or Not's pretty decent about maintaining their catalog of expansions for Zombicide, especially those sort of like named exclusive ones, even when they claim that they're going to be like Kickstarter exclusive or something like that. They tend to actually release them retail, or at least through their website. Because I remember finding like some of the artist ones that they did for the original Zombicide, or the original Black Plague one, I guess. I wasn't looking at the original Zombicide because I wasn't super keen on the modern setting, honestly. I like zombies, except in modern settings. I find them really boring in modern settings, mostly because I feel like they're kind of unbelievable. Whereas if I'm in a fantasy setting and I know that like necromancers could be involved or something, I'm like, ah, yes, it makes sense that the dead would rise. But yeah, Cool Mini or Not's pretty good about keeping their expansions available.
I can't stay here any longer. Not now.
Whoa, I'm super blown out. Why am I so blown out? Sorry about that. I was super blown out for a second. Okay, we're gonna be delicate while we go into the hand. And this is why we spin it, because we might have missed some sections, like that. And like that. There we go. And there we go. All right. What kinds of things would you, so suggestions for beginners. Honestly, my best suggestion for wanting to spruce up your bases a little bit and not just paint them, and actually before I answer this question, Ben, let me clarify. When you say you're just painting them, do you mean that you're painting them with just standard traditional acrylics and making them a color? Or are you meaning you're painting them with, say, like a texture paint that has a gravelly effect when it dries? That's the question that I have for you before I answer your question about suggestions for beginners. Because depending on what you answer, it'll change my suggestion for a beginner. So do let me know, because I do have some thoughts on that. I think it'd be... and I think it's a really cool thing to talk about because I actually really like basing. I think it's a lot of fun. Grievous is choking in our ears right now. All right, I need to get some white paint out real quick. So let me find, there it is. Okay, cool. So then, Ben, my suggestion, if currently all you're really doing is applying some acrylic paint to cover it up and make it look like dirt or something like that, my suggestion would be to find a brand that you prefer, whether it be Citadel or AK or Green Stuff World or whomever. There's a lot of different companies out there that will make what is called a texture paint. Let me grab one real quick. And also, let me go grab a base real quick.
I am the Senate.
Okay, so legit, the best thing that I think you can do to up your game with basing is simply picking up, like I said, some kind of texture paint. So this specifically is my like all-time favorite technical paint from Citadel. I use this as a texture all of the time because I find it's incredibly versatile. This is Armageddon Dust. And Armageddon Dust is actually what I used on this base here. And you might be going like, what the fuck? It's so much paler than what this base looks like. Well, that's because I applied other paints to it. I applied a wash over top of it to darken it and then dry brushed it to bring some highlights back out. But it looks stunning and it's like 3 colors. I talk about it at the end of almost all of my painting tutorials where I'm doing some sort of basing because I like to keep it really simple, but make sure that it's like maintains effectiveness. Here, let me zoom out a little smidge. There you go. So yeah, texture paint, work with that, apply some washes, maybe do a dry brush before you attach the model and everything to get this looking really cool. Then you want to go in with some tufting. You can get any variety of paint tufts or texture tufts for grass tufts. Sorry, that is the word I'm actually looking for. You can get any sort of grass tuft or fauna tufts from, again, a bunch of different companies. Army Painter makes a good selection of them, but they're only exclusively round in their shape, which is the one reason that I actually really prefer Gamer's Grass, who is the ones that make these ones here. And the reason I like them is you'll notice these are sort of like wild shapes. That's what they call them. They're uneven. They're just not symmetrical. And to me, that's a bit more naturalistic. So I really like them for that reason. And they come in a variety of different colors and styles. Also tall, like they have tall grasses as well as really short grasses like what I've got on here. The other reason I like texture paints is because some of them, at least that Games Workshop makes, and I know there are others like this, and let's see, can you really see? Okay, you can. So you see the cracks in this particular base. That is also because of the texture paint. This is why I love them so much, because there are some that'll dry and look really naturalistic, like they're just clumps of dirt. There's others that dry and crackle and end up looking like, you know, cool lava rocks, or you can do them as sand dunes or something like that. And it ends up looking really, really cool. So my suggestion to just easily up your game when it comes to basing, again, it costs a smidge amount of money because the texture paints, while not super expensive, are also not super cheap. Like, it is still a hobby product, so it's going to be a little bit up there in price, but they're super worth it. And I do find as long as you seal them correctly, and this is very, very important, like even more so than with your standard paints, you gotta seal these correctly, because if you don't, they will dry out over time and then they're really not workable. You can still use them and you get some interesting effects out of a semi-dry texture paint, but it's not as pleasant as working with just like the completely wet stuff. How do you texture before priming? You wouldn't. You would want to prime before you texture. And if I said that, that was just me misspeaking slightly. But before you actually, like, I like to build my bases up sometimes before I've attached my model to the base, which that is definitely doable. You can totally paint your model without attaching it to the base. I think I did that with Abaddon and a couple other dudes. Actually, I did it with this one. I did it with my ordnance. I painted this base, like I textured this base, let it dry, did all the dry brushing, then attached the model to it. Then I applied the tufts. That's generally my order and how I might suggest doing it, but you definitely wouldn't want to do anything before you primed. No problem, Ben. I'm so happy to help. That is what this channel's for. All right, we were gonna use some white paint before we start talking about bases, so let me get some white paint on my table or on my palette. I probably grabbed way too much. It's fine. It's fine. And we're gonna do some cleanup. Graham, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are having a delightful day. Let me know if you're working on anything cool today as well. Obviously, I've got my Star Wars Legion miniatures. We're doing a little bit of tidying up. Because I put some colors where we didn't need them. Like a fool. There we go. Gently touching up the miniature. Wait, so you're like, what color are you priming your texture paint? I guess I've never thought to do this, and I think that's why my mind is blown. Because the texture paint already has a color to it. I guess if you wanted to, like, say all you had was Armageddon dust, but you really wanted it to be gray because you wanted it to look like gravel or something, like I could see maybe painting over it that way, but I guess I'm not understanding, like, I just don't understand why you would prime the texture paint specifically. David, please enlighten me, because my mind is blown. Or are we describing two different things? Like, does prime mean something else to you? Because, like, priming to me is, I primed this model in white before I began on him. So are you saying, like, you put your texture paint down on your base, and then you come back in with the texture, or with a black primer or something, and you prime the texture? You've been busy building your 132 scale Tornado fighter jet. That's really cool. Ooh, and you just bought a Lancaster. Is a Lancaster an Avro Lancaster? Is that also a plane, or is that a ship? I don't actually know. Joke's on you, Anakin. You don't get to be with her again. You turn into a Force ghost, which I assume means that you don't have access to Padme's ghost. How does that work, actually? If you're a Force ghost, like, can Yoda go and, like, see any deceased person who ascended to, I guess, their equivalent of is becoming one with the Force? Do you have access to other bodies, like other Force ghosts? Can you talk? Like, could Anakin actually contact Padme, or is that also, like, is he fucked? Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, the process makes sense. It's just I've never done it that way. I always do texture paints at the end. Like, I save basing until the end because I enjoy it so much. So I'm like, no, I'm going to end my process with this and do all that fun stuff. And then Drow Gamer, you glue cork, crack the texture, and gravel, then prime. See, that makes sense. Drow Gamer, because, like, you're using cork and stuff that would need to be primed in order to take paint. The texture paint thing for me was odd because, like, this is kind of designed to go straight out of the bottle onto the base and be done. Like, in theory, you don't even have to paint it more. You could, in theory, just put it down, do nothing else to it. You'll still get plenty of cool textures and some, like, natural highlights and shadows because it'll be an uneven plane, so you'll get just natural literal shadows and light bouncing off of it. But priming the cork and everything, that makes total sense. Well, I'm talking Disney canon. In Disney's current canon, as Star Wars as currently accepted by the people who own the rights to Star Wars, would Anakin actually be able to meet Padme? Because I don't know if they've clarified that, and I don't think he can. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a different... Interesting. I don't know, and it's now a thing that I'm going to be thinking about for a while. And then, like, agonizing over. Of will Anakin be sad forever because he can never talk to Padme even when he becomes a Force ghost and gets redeemed? Can non-Force users become Force ghosts? I'm assuming the answer is probably no. But I also have not read any of the EU, so I have no idea if, like, that's happened in the EU before. Or in Legends. Speaking of Legends, have you guys been watching the new season of Visions on Disney Plus for Star Wars? Because holy moly. I think this set of Visions stories is so much better done than the first one. No offense to that season or anything. It was still a fun season, but I don't know. I'm just liking the stories so much more this one. There we go.
Ended. The Clone War has.
Okay, that is looking good. That needs a little bit of another coat. It's kind of pale, but it needs to dry a bit. Same with the other side. The other side's probably a bit more dry now, though. Oop, and I'm sliding off screen. I think there's a lot of reasons Anakin joined the dark side. Let alone a, you know, poor childhood. Ah, very cool. Okay, so I definitely agree with you, Ben. I definitely think that non-Force users probably can't become Force ghosts. And there's no other, like, there's no canonical... Are there other types of ghosts in Star Wars? Because, like, ghosts is not like an uncommon concept in, like, fantasy and sci-fi, right? You know, you got Ghost in the Shell, you got literal ghosts. I mean, technically, Force ghosts are literal ghosts as well. They're just specifically Force users. So could you have, like, could there be a Padme ghost out there who just ends up hanging out with Force ghost Anakin? And the main difference is, like, Force ghosts. Because, like, Sith can't become Force ghosts. But they can have their souls bound to objects and then eventually get, like, basically gain immortality because they're bound to that. That's canonical. So I'm just really desperate now for Anakin Ghost and Padme Ghost to have conversations and meet up again. But I don't know. Yeah, they're definitely spirits, right? Yeah, there's been mention of spirits, but ghosts specifically, like that's sometimes the terms actually like make a difference in these universes, and I do feel like they intentionally were like, no, this is a ghost. Because they do, I feel like, refer to everything else as spirits and not ghosts. But almost is not actually explored, and I don't what Sith has become a Force ghost. Because, like, I know that there are Sith bound to artifacts, like Sith artifacts, but they can't just willy-nilly wander around in the same way that Qui-Gon could go and engage with Obi-Wan no matter where he was. Whereas, like, if you want to talk to a dead Sith Lord, in order for you to do that, you'd have to physically go to their temple or their tomb, find their artifact, probably their lightsaber or whatever, and then contact them. At least that's what SWTOR has led me to believe. Mother Talzin was a little bit of a ghost, wasn't she? But she's definitely not Sith. No, she was a Night Sister. Well, see, that's the main difference. I think that's like I feel like canonically, like there are stories that's kind of the main point. Because the Jedi can essentially gain immortality and go wherever they want in the universe because they're light side, and the light side Force ghost users get to do that. But for some reason, dark side doesn't. They get bound, and like I think that's what pisses the Sith off. That's why Palpatine's so obsessed with immortality, right? Because he's just like, that's what everything is leading towards. They just like, he wants to be immortal and bring back the OG Sith Empire. And he like didn't he even kill his master because of that? Because he wouldn't give him or tell him how to become immortal. Well, no, see, that's the beautiful thing, Sinkert. The beautiful thing is that they don't have to, well, they all have great egos. They're Sith. That's kind of their deal. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. The thing is they get to just automatically haunt their Padawans, because I assume that if you've killed your Sith master, you've probably taken something of theirs, their lightsaber, their book of secrets, whatever. And so like you're gonna end up being haunted by that Sith master. Be prepared. Right, which is why I think that they actually like, that's why I think like canonically, I don't think Sith can become Force ghosts. Like, I think the Force prevents them. The closest they can achieve is the Lich, of having a phylactery that basically keeps them going. And that's why you see so many Sith stories like end up being, this Sith Lord is trying to acquire a new body to be immortal. Supersonic 89, I think we do have, I thought the canon reason for purple lightsabers was because it was demanded. I thought the color of the lightsaber was literally just determined on like the crystal and the Jedi themselves. Like, I didn't think that it actually mattered. In theory, like, that's why Sith can still use a Jedi lightsaber that has a normal colored blade and not just a red blade. Right? Like, it shouldn't matter, I didn't think. Also, the canon reason for having purple is because it's the best color and it should definitely be a lightsaber color. Like, I'm just throwing that out there as somebody whose favorite color is purple. I'm glad it's a canon color. Hello, Grab Juice! Or Grabe Juice. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I thought the color was just attuned to the user. Although I am really excited for the explanation to the orange lightsabers that we're going to be seeing in the new season of... in Ahsoka. Is it Ahsoka? Is that where we saw the orange lightsabers? I can't remember now. I think it was Ahsoka. Yeah, Supersonic, you like the yellow color? Purple's all mine. I love the purple lightsaber. I will admit, though, seeing the yellow saber in, like, Jedi Survivor and such does look pretty cool. I will admit, I am a fan of Ahsoka's white lightsabers as well. I think the pure white look, just because it is light, ends up being very striking. Red is also great. I will never say no to a red lightsaber. It is the color of, you know, the Sith and Darth Maul, and he is the best. There will not be a stream that goes by where I don't mention it when we're talking about Star Wars. I am so glad I grabbed the right color. I missed a part of his armor here, so I'm actually gonna bring it close to myself for a sec while I get this, because I think the reason I missed it was because I was trying to show you guys. So, suck it. You don't get to see this one in full scale. Okay. Alright, that is looking good. The one thing else that I want to do is I want to get the underside of his skirt, because I didn't paint it yet. It really is, David. It really is the best color. For Ahsoka, I thought they were given to her by Anakin because she, like, when she left the temple. Isn't Anakin the one that gave her the new sabers and everything? I thought that happened in Clone Wars. Am I misremembering? Supersonic, I would love to go to Galaxy's Edge. I've actually been to Galaxy's Edge once. I actually, not Galaxy's Edge. I've gone to one of the Star Wars things. I don't think it definitely wasn't the hotel. It was just like wherever they do, the place is it MGM that they converted into all being Star Wars? I've been like there when that was still under construction, so I don't know if I got to experience the whole thing. I got to do Star Tours for sure. And we definitely went in, and I didn't do the lightsaber build, but I ended up building... What did I end up building? I think they had Lego there, and I actually ended up building some, like, Lego droids. Oh, I thought canonically the red crystals were, like, synthetic crystals. Because I didn't think the Sith had access to, like, real Kyber crystals, so I thought part of their butthurt was the fact that they had to, like, grow theirs, and they eventually, like, wore out faster than standard crystals and stuff because they were synthetic. I think we're done with the white. I need the black. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. What did I need the black for? Who the hell knows? We're just gonna move on to the purple. Because I don't remember what I was doing. Oh, that's old canon? Gosh dang it. So is there, like, one location where you can go get the red ones, then? Also, I really liked that canon, actually. I thought it was a cool idea that they were synthetic and that was, like, part of the thing. Because the whole point was, like, Sith were originally exiled, right? Like, they were just exiled Jedi. Okay, so something to note when working on small sections with this purple, you really actually don't want to overload your brush too much, otherwise you'll get some splotchiness. I'm going to take it off screen for a second. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. I had an awkward angle and I needed to deal with it. When did this happen? Is this in like one of the books or something? Did they retcon this? Okay. What does that mean, bleed them with rage? So is the Sith like going and like doing like slicing their hand and then being like rage and then just like dripping like a crimson shower over a Kyber crystal? I mean, that's metal as AF, but like I just hadn't realized. I really, really liked the idea that they were synthetic. So the fact that there's now like some sort of blood ritual tied to it, just honestly, like, I don't know if I like it or not. Like, it's funny to me, but at the same time, I'm just sitting there going, I didn't want you guys to be that, like, angsty, you know? But it's cool that, like, I didn't realize Ahsoka had stolen, I really hadn't realized Ahsoka had stolen an Inquisitor's... I just don't remember this at all. Does that look slightly better to you? I feel like it keeps getting really blown out. Fair enough. Fair enough. That makes sense, Ben. I totally get that. Good night, Graham! Hope you had a lovely time and have a good evening. right, that's done. It's looking pretty good. Okay, good. I'm glad. I think it might just be my eyeballs. I hope so, Drow Gamer. I am hoping we get... I mean, the thing is like, I know a lot of Ahsoka's backstory because I have actually watched majority of Clone Wars. I'm currently... So, I am currently in season 5? I believe. Yes. I think it's season 5. Because we just had the battle between Palpatine and Savage and Darth Maul on Mandalore in the throne room because Palpatine's like, bitch, what are you doing? You are my rival now. And so the last thing that I watched, like the very last thing that I saw of Clone Wars in the most recent episode was literally Palpatine standing over Darth Maul going, I have plans for you, and me going, I'm so sad. Because I love Darth Maul. However, I have actually watched all of season 7. I have seen the entire end of Clone Wars. It's been a little while, so I don't remember it well. It's actually why I'm rewatching it. And I've watched all of Rebels. So I don't remember her getting an Inquisitor's, like, lightsabers. And did this happen in, like, the book that I haven't read? Because that's entirely possible. But yeah, I do expect they're going to go over some of her backstory in the show because they're going to have to. Too many people are very anti the Clone Wars. And I don't get it. I don't understand. Because it's a fucking amazing cartoon. Absolutely bloody amazing. There are some throwaway episodes, don't get me wrong, but you know what? That's going to happen in any long-running television series. So I'm not going to hold it against them. The beauty is because you're watching it on demand, you can skip whatever episodes you don't want to watch. I did that when I didn't want to watch all of the nonsense with the droids just before we got into all of the Savage and Darth Maul and Mandalore stuff, because who the hell thought it was a good idea to lead into the, like, you know, taking of Mandalore with droids and a bunch of comedy. I don't know. It's because it got really serious. I understand this, but, like, seriously, why? It was such a weird choice. Ah, so it's between Rebels and Clone Wars. The Fifth Brothers, really? She got him from the Fifth Brother. I didn't realize. I thought all the Inquisitors, like, weapons, though, were, like, that sort of cylindrical hilt. I feel like every single one of them has, like, the round hilt thing going on. Learning more about Dooku and Qui-Gon would be really cool. So there's actually a really great thing on Disney Plus that if you've not watched it, I can't remember what the series of, I cannot for the life of me remember what the series was called that did this. There was a mini-series little thing that they did that focused explicitly on Ahsoka and Dooku. And it told stories from various parts of their history that was so good. It's an animated thing. The thing that I thought was really cool is for Ahsoka, they talk about her birth, and like what happened when she was a baby. They also show a scene where she actually starts for the first time using 2 lightsabers instead of the 1, because you'll notice if you're fans of the Clone Wars, and for those of you that are, I'm sure you're already aware, but I'm gonna gush, okay? I'm gonna gush. Because you'll notice in like early seasons of Clone Wars, Ahsoka is using a blade exactly the same way that Anakin does. Single blade, 2 hands, that's what she does. At a certain point, she switches over to 2. And the reason they give for this is because there's a point where Ahsoka goes through some training with the clones and Anakin. He's there, he's facilitating it, but the clones are there, and the training she does during the scene is actually what helps her survive Order 66 and like deal with all of that and basically survive the clones attacking her. And it is so good because it is them basically just firing upon her over and over and over again as she practices learning to dodge and deflect and basically just not get hit by their guns. And it is such a powerful scene. There's also some really great stuff with Dooku that follows him when he's younger, kind of exploring the fact that, like, he left the Jedi not to immediately become Sith, but because he just disagreed with them and then was slowly still corrupted, ended up killing, I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but there was a female Yoda character, what was her name? You guys will know her name. But he ends up, like, killing her, and, like, oh my god, it is such a good little, like, segment of Star Wars canon, and I love it. And if you've not watched it, I would highly encourage you to go do so. Hello, James. Welcome to the stream. We are gushing about Star Wars today because we're working on some Star Wars miniatures. And I was just telling everybody about the absolutely brilliant, like, 4-part little series that they did that covered some background on both Dooku as well as Ahsoka and how it's stunning. Yaddle, yes, thank you, yes. I knew you guys would know her name. So he ends up, like, Yaddle confronts him, he ends up murdering her for Palpatine, and that's how he really goes evil. And it's so good! It's just so good! He's not actually evil. I don't actually think Dooku is evil, for the record. He falls to the Sith, of course, but I don't actually think he's evil. I think he's just manipulated and also disagreed with the Jedi, which, frankly, at that point in what they were doing with the Council and how they were handling things, I don't blame him. Because they were kind of fucking things up. Just a little bit, just a little bit. I need to get my Ducati purple shade. Druchii violet. Yeah, it really does explain why Yoda sort of had issues with Dooku, doesn't it? You're not wrong, Diggs. Yeah, I completely agree. Also, can I just talk about how much I love in modern Star Wars content? They are actually humanizing the Separatists a lot more. Like, there are some moments in Clone Wars where they do that. There's a whole little segment that ends up following. Actually, it involves Saul Guerrera and everything, like his origins, that really, really humanizes the Separatists. And I love it. Like, I want more of that. They also did it in Bad Batch as well as Andor. They touched on it a little bit, if I remember correctly. And it's such a fascinating thing because they used droids, sure, in their fighting, but they were still people on the other side who just didn't like what the Republic was doing and also didn't necessarily know or probably enjoy what the Emperor was doing, or was going to do, because he wasn't the Emperor at that time, but you know what I mean. You get what I mean. They were just as manipulated by Palpatine as the Republic, and I think it's fascinating that we're finally starting to, like, talk about that more and acknowledge it. Oh, that is looking so good. I really like Luxian purple contrast paint with Druchii violet gently over top of it, because it deepens it in such a rich, rich way. While still letting some of those beautiful highlights just, stand out, and I love it. dare you? Christopher Lee is not evil. I know he gets cast as evil characters a lot, but he's not. Also, I feel like he would be insulted, considering, like, it's Christopher Lee and, like, he killed Nazis. Like, I'm not misremembering that, right? I think didn't he, like, because there's a story of him with Peter Jackson on the Lord of the Rings, filming for those movies where he, I believe, was told, like, how to stab somebody in the back, and Christopher Lee was like, I fucking know how to stab somebody in the back. Like, and I think Peter Jackson was like, yeah, you're probably right, you do. I'm gonna just back off now. You know what a man screaming in agony sounds like. Exactly. Yes, he is... Wait, he's a regent of Sweden, too? I didn't know that part. That's so cool. The man is amazing. Like, talk about aspirational goals. Like, doing anything remotely as badass as Christopher Lee is just... Tales of the Jedi. Thank you. That is exactly the cartoon I'm talking about, Ben. Yes. Tales of the Jedi. You want more backstory into Dooku or Ahsoka? Check those out, because it's brilliant, and I hope they do more. Dang, that's cool. Look how close to done this guy is. Can you believe it? I've only been working on him for ages. I need a brown. What brown do I want to go with? I know what I'm going to go with. Gorgrunter fur, because I always go with Gorgrunter fur. Not Gorgrunter fur. Gargax sewer. God, I can't even say the name correctly. What a terrible fan of this color I am. Where is my paint? Dark Oath Flesh, Wildwood, Fire Slayer. Is it? There you are. I found it. No one panic. I found the paint. That's true, James. You're not wrong. You do really gotta work at it if you want to truly be evil. Which none of us should strive for. We should all be good. Put positivity out into the world. That's what we're all about. Put art out there and positivity. Is this going to be too dark? I need to look at my reference. Let's go try this, and I'm going to see if I don't like it, I'm going to redo it. I think I'm fine with it. I think if I hadn't thinned it, it would have been too dark, but this is working actually out exactly. Well, I didn't actually know how I wanted it to be, I'll be honest with you guys, but it's working out well.
I'm right.
Yeah, he was in so many movies. You're not wrong, David. I love the concept of the Grey Jedi, Ben. I think the Grey Jedi, I mean, that's what Ahsoka is now, in my opinion. Like, I don't know if that's what they're going to call her. I don't know if that's, like, the canon, like, term for it. But, like, I love the concept of the Grey Jedi. I thought the exploration of that, especially in Rebels, with Kanan and the wolf, and also, I don't remember his name. What was the spirit that Ezra constantly talked to? Like, I loved that idea. I also am totally, like, in favor of Jedi, non-Sith Force users. Like, that concept, the idea of that does not bother me in any way. In fact, I would love for them to explore it more, because I think that would just allow, honestly, people to even further put themselves and insert themselves into that world more easily and just continue to bring hype to the brand. So if they embrace that, cool. Also, the world is not that black and white. There are gray options and situations that you're going to end up being in. Like, it's a lot more complex than just simply black and white. And so I love the idea of that being explored more in Sith. Yes, Bendu. Exactly. Hello, Megan. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a lovely day today. We are painting up some Star Wars Legion miniatures and chatting about the current state of Star Wars, honestly. We were talking we were talking actually about how glorious Christopher Lee is, because he's glorious. So you can always add to that conversation if you want, but we're also just talking about Grey Jedi and the difference between Sith and Jedi and which our preferences are, so feel free to add to that. But yes, Ben, I really enjoyed that character in Rebels. It's one of the reasons I'm actually incredibly hyped for Ezra to be back in Ahsoka, because I'm hoping we get a little bit of Bendu through him. Like, I don't expect him to be Jedi, despite Kanan teaching him the ways of the Jedi. I don't actually expect him to end up being that way. I am kind of hopeful that he's going to have gone, like, nah, I'm not going to do either of these things. I'm going to be gray and naturey. Like, honestly, I almost want him to be druid, like a druid. I think that'd be so cool. Yes, I completely agree with you, Diggs. I think the world is mostly gray, and the black and white is just on the extreme sides of things. Missed a small section of where we need to put some yellow, so I'm just taking care of that real quick. You guys probably can't see anything because it's... Here, I'm super zoomed in. There we go. Oh, and then we also need to get the other side of that belt buckle thingamadoodle, because I definitely didn't paint that. I just saw a big old white bit. Well, exactly, because Kanan himself was never actually a ordained Jedi. He was a Padawan, sure, he'd gone through some of the training, but he never became a knight officially. Like, he did eventually in the show, because of the temple and dealing with the, what was it? It was like a Jedi temple guard or something like that ended up knighting him in the end, if I remember correctly, like through ceremony and some sort of trial that he ended up going through. So, like, Kanan became a Jedi, officially, technically, but Ezra never did, and I don't think he will. I think he's gonna fall into the same line that Ahsoka did, and I think that's kind of the point. Like, I'm really curious with the new movie that's coming up, not specifically the shows, because I'm expecting great things from Ahsoka. I'm expecting to love where they're taking that, because I've liked a lot of the other shows. Even the more lackluster ones, I still found a lot of enjoyment in, because it's exploring characters that I didn't specifically grow up with, so this is all very, like, exciting and somewhat new to me, right? But the thing that I'm actually most intrigued by is the movie that's coming up that's supposed to be about Rey restarting the Jedi, because I anticipate Ezra and Ahsoka potentially being in some way influential on that. I don't know if they'll be in the movie. I would love for them to be in the movie, but I don't necessarily expect it. Ezra maybe. Ahsoka, I don't know as much. But I definitely think they're going to have an impact on Rey, because I don't think either of them consider themselves Jedi. So her being the last one, in a sense, makes sense if they don't identify that way. And I don't know if they will. Like, who knows what Ezra's gone through, trapped good lord knows where with Thrawn and a bunch of space whales. So, I don't know. It's going to be really, really engaging. Like, I'm excited. That's true. That's true. They aren't necessarily good and evil, but I feel like in some of the movies, Lucas really tried to make it explicitly, these guys are evil and these guys are good, and fans really stuck onto that of, like, light side is good, dark side is evil. But I agree. It's more nuanced than that. It is not the inspiration for it. Although, you know what? Maybe it was the inspiration for the original designers. This is actually the color scheme that this particular faction ends up going with. So the yellow is more meant to be like I think it's meant to be true metallic gold. Like it's supposed to be a little bit more armor, but I like doing a more painterly, non-metallic look with my contrast paints. And so I decided to go with just really, like a really bright yellow, because I really like that. This guy, you want to talk about Mardi Gras. Look at this fella. Now, he is intentionally, like, this is not meant to be gold. This is just meant to be a yellow fabric, which is why I went super, super bright with it. Did I leave a little bit of white? One moment. Okay, that's fixed. Oh my god, I did. Okay, I had like a tiny amount of white on the inside of that collar. Did I do it on the other side? No, I got it on the other side. I just missed it on that one side. It's kind of an awkward angle. Just doing a little bit touch up, smooth some things over. Okay, I feel like that's better. Anyways, he's very Mardi Gras, but no, this is literally just their color scheme. They go with a deep, rich royal purple. They have a lot of golds, which is why I chose the yellow. And because they're aliens, they have green skin. And it just works really, really well. I do enjoy it a lot. I hadn't even thought of the Mardi Gras color scheme, but yes, I see what you mean, and I agree. God, I haven't heard "Come to the Dark Side, We Have Cookies" in ages. Oh my god. Oh my god, what a throwback. Holy shit. Is that a little bit of... I might have to touch that up. I might have to touch something up later. We're suddenly very anti the Jedi. Guys, it's okay. We can all coexist. Hello.
Fuck the Jedi!
Are you literally playing a Jedi right now?
No, I'm filling B-roll.
Oh, well, okay, fine. Fine. He's not playing Jedi then. Fine. Excellent. All right, well, he's not done because I didn't actually fix the brown that I remembered I saw. Let me do that real quick.
You're a good soldier, Rex.
All right, there we go. I'm going to darken the gray of his outfit a little bit because right now his shoulders especially are looking just too pale. They are too pale. Good morning, Okami. Welcome to the stream. That makes sense. I wonder what they were going for on like a inspiration level for him, considering I agree with McBrownism that it is very, or was it McBrownism that said it? Where was it? Hold on, it's scrolled past now. Hold on, let me scroll up. Let's see. Megan, I'm sorry. Megan was the one that I was asking if it was Mardi Gras themed, and I agree with Megan. It is very Mardi Gras themed. Oh, the Jedi do probably have some tasty pastries. The Sith have, what is it, cake? Cookies? Cookies. Sith have cookies, the Jedi have pastries. Choose your delicious baked good wisely. Alright, here we go. We're gonna darken this. Yep.
To sort this out on my own.
I like that. That immediately looks better.
So, and without
Do the helmet.
this isn't about you.
All right, that's looking better. We're gonna continue cycling around the helm and darkening that a little bit. Good, good, good.
I can't stay here any longer.
Good, good, good.
Not now.
Okay. And this side. Okay, that is looking so much nicer. The last thing we need to do is the last shoulder. Very pleased, very pleased. Who has cake? Well, the cake is a lie, so there is no cake. You know what? The Greys have cake. How about that? The Mandalorians. The Mandalorians are actually who have cake. Which just makes me laugh because then I think of Bo-Katan, and it just makes me think of Katie Sackhoff, and then my heart flutters a little bit because I think she is so hot. Alright, I want to darken all of this. All of it! All of it. I don't know if I've seen her in Longmire. Or Longmere? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. You know what I was actually thinking about? Was like, so, okay, what's your preference for those of you that are Katie Sackhoff fans? Do you prefer her as Bo-Katan in Star Wars, or do you prefer her as, I blank on the character's name, Starbuck? Do you prefer her as Starbuck in Battlestar Galactica? Go, tell me which one you prefer. I agree with you, James. She was stunning in Battlestar Galactica. Although I do feel like her character ended up kind of like not having a lot to do near the last season because they kind of ran out. Like, I don't know. I feel like they borked her character a little bit near the end, but I don't think that was her fault. I think that was just like the writers. That looks good. Touch a little bit there. And we'll put a little bit on the gun. Probably not a bad idea. Especially since it's got a nice level of grooves for this paint to just really settle into as well. So many little grooves. I like the atomic mass models for that reason. They do have a variety, like a pretty good variety of detail on them, and I enjoy it. She was in Big Bang? I hadn't realized. I never watched Big Bang Theory. There's no reason I shouldn't apply this wash to his boots. If I really want them to look at like darker and stand out against the rest of his outfit, honestly, this is the way to do it. So let's just do a quick, lovely Nuln Oil wash all over his boots and legs. Basically his entire torso, lower torso. That's not part of the torso, Angela. His lower body is the word I was looking for. Body, not torso. All right, that looks good. That looks good. Yes, 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 yes. Just like Daniel Bryan. All right, I'm feeling happy about him. He's looking cool. Pretty satisfied. I've now got two of them done. Let me zoom in. That's zooming out. Boom. Boom! Look at them. I'm not keeping them even, so they're not focusing. There we go. Now let's try to spin them. I like them. They look like they go together properly, and he actually does stand out more distinctly against him, who looks a little bit more like he actually is wearing gold. Whereas this guy has a little bit more of that bright yellow, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Like, that looks great. So I'm happy with that. Now I need to look up and see what he actually looks like, because I can't remember what his outfit does. Let's see. That is the reference for those boys. They are not the Black Sun. They are the Pike Syndicate. Pike Syndicate. Pike. Well, that's not at all how I painted mine. My goodness. Okay, here we go. It appears that the Pike Syndicate have a little less of a defined uniform. No. What will I use as guidance? Oh, this is a cool picture. You know what? And these are from the Clone Wars. So I'm going to use it. They're in a lot of grays, a lot of yellowy browns, and like blue grays. So I think... What the hell did I see that had them be more of this pale green? I don't know. I guess they do have that pale green on them. I think I'm going to have the cloth be a blue-gray. I feel like that'll complement with some of the purples and yellows we've used. Because they're going to be in the same faction together. Like, they're going to be running together. I don't know if I know who Jerry Ryan is. I'll have to look that up. Or look her up. The weapon of the guard. Oh, you mean this one? Like this guy's weapon? Looks like it's from something from the movie Black Hole? I think I can kind of see that. I get you. Okay. Fucking hell. I always do that. Okay, so I love these handles that I have from Redgrass Gaming. They are great. I find them quite comfortable and easy for me to use. I love that they've got like the spinner top and everything, but they're magnetic, so they fucking like slam together, which is terrible when I've got two models, because like I'm gonna zoom out. So it's terrible because like I can't get them too close to each other or they start to pull and then they slam. Did you see that? They like magnets. That's how they work. They attract each other. And it was really, really obnoxious. Also, I need to clean this one. This is caked in paint. Oh, I just did it again! Angela, stop it! Also, close your Nolan oil before you knock it over. That's like the third time you've almost whacked it. Which is just really not what we want. We don't want to whack the paint. I am going to take a very brief break. I'm going to be back at 2... How long of a break do I need? Do I think I need? Like, I'm going to say, like, I'm going to give myself 10 minutes. We're going to be back at 2:40 or 2:39 because it's 2:29 right here for me. So I will be back very briefly. I'm going to get myself some water, maybe use the restroom or something, stretch my legs a little bit because I've been sitting here for a little while, and I'll be right back with you guys. And then at that point, we'll continue on our friend, the Pike, and I'll have, at that point, figured out exactly what colors I want to use. So I'll be right back, you guys. See you in just a moment. Hello! I have returned several minutes early. Mostly because I had stretched and everything that I needed to. So I figured I'd come back. Get off of my desk. Hair. Okay. I thought... So, James. I thought that they were kind of more sea greens and turquoise. However, literally all of the art I was looking on online had them mostly in grays and yellows, which was weird. And I was like, aren't they aquatic? I thought the pike were aquatic. Are they not fish people? Should they not have fishy color schemes? And that's, I think, what I'm going to go with. So I do think we're going to go with a turquoisey color. I might do Craxagore scales because I really like this turquoise. I mean, they're a crime syndicate. I can make them whatever I want. I don't have to be confined to their rules. Did you guys know that Shatterpoint's coming out, like, in a couple weeks? I actually hadn't. I, for some reason, thought it was coming out in August. It's apparently coming out in June. June's gonna be a big month, y'all. It's gonna be a big month. Because I think 40k 10th edition's, like, late June. So if Shatterpoint's coming out in early June... Holy moly. Hi, Michael! Thank you, Ben, for the welcome back. Hope you guys all had a lovely break. Got up and stretched your own legs and everything. Okay, let's go ahead and we're gonna start taking care of this pike dude. Are you a leader, dude? Because you have a crown, probably. Which means you're gonna definitely get the blues. Because we want you to look fancy. Now, before I do this, I should determine which colors I want to actually be what. So it looks like he has on... So that, I think I'm going to make be more of a metal. That will, in fact, maybe be in some yellows and we'll have it look goldish. But I think this cloth on his arm, we're going to end up doing in turquoise as well as the cloth on his legs. Now, the thing is do I want to do this cloth in turquoise as well? I feel... like I should, maybe?
My master could never be as vile as you.
Anakin Skywalker was weak. I destroyed him.
Then I will avenge.
Oh, is this a... Wait, is that a helmet and not part of their head? Or is that part of their head? Oh, is it a helmet? Oh my god, did I paint him wrong completely? Oh, I may have to repaint this. I don't know. It looks like flesh. Okay, can you guys... Question. Question for the audience. Question for chat. I'm gonna zoom in on this guy's giant head. That looks like flesh, right? Like, the folds... Focus, damn you. There we go. The folds definitely look like flesh, right? Because in the pictures that I'm looking at, it kind of makes the giant back of their heads look like it's a armor piece or something. I feel like that's not what this looks like. This looks fleshy. And not just because I painted it fleshy. I feel like what are these grooves in this helmet, if not, I think it's his skin. I'm gonna stop looking at reference. I'm just gonna stop looking at reference. It's clearly not helping me. So we're just gonna pull this out. And I'm gonna go for it. We're gonna make his pants a different color, but we're gonna make the outfit on top all the same. So I need some of this Craxagore blue. And we're just gonna be bold. We're gonna be bold. Cloth is a good point. Maybe it's a head wrap. It definitely looks fleshy to me, though. So much for sleep in June, indeed. I completely agree with you. I don't know if I'll be playing the new Diablo game, but I will definitely be checking out Shatterpoint in 10th edition. Well, I don't know if we want to actually Google search naked pike. I feel like that's going to get you into some places you may not enjoy, but who knows? You know what? I'm not going to judge what you're into. So, you know, you do you. You do you. I thought they did too, and Okami, because that's what the references we're looking for. But that's not what this looks like. Research. I'll have to do research. Okay, we're gonna have to do some cleanup, so we're just gonna go for this. This color is so pretty! God, I love it so much. I don't even think it's coming across quite as vibrant and pretty as it is in real life on screen for you guys. It's looking more blue, but it's not, I promise. It's this beautiful turquoise. I think this is seeing some of the fabric underneath, because I think this is like a weird open design. I'm just gonna do it that way because I can. Alright, so I've gotten that. I'll have to do some cleanup, but again, I'm not super concerned. Go a little bit up the side here. Okay, and then that was probably unnecessary. Then we're gonna do the shoulders. Beep, 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 beep. Maybe these pike are underwater, and so they're just outside of their suits. And that's the implication. That's what I'm going to choose to believe. Oh god. Please don't get this color on the beautiful green flesh that you've already painted. Thank you. Oh, delicate. Alright, there we go. It's looking good. I have no idea now if this should be his exposed flesh or if this is cloth. I'm gonna make it cloth. Executive decision had. Because I've already started painting it! Well, now I kind of feel like I have to make his pants that color because they kind of blend in based off of this. No, I can do... We'll make a decision later. Let me just paint this section real quick. Okay, there we go. This should probably also be this color, considering, you know, it's the backside of that tabard. Okay, now we're still not done because I have that shoulder on the other side. I shouldn't forget that for cohesive. Yeah, no, there is. I catch them when I'm playing Stardew. Because they are one of the ones that you can catch during, I think, the spring or summer? Summer, I think. They're not a very colorful fish, though, the pike. At least if that game's to go off of, based off of. Because in the game, at least in Stardew Valley, they're kind of a green, like, even, like, this is a green, like, a yellow color. They're even more of, like, a brown that has, like, a tint of green. Like, it's almost like Mortarian grime if you really darkened it. So they end up looking almost gray-green, browny. Hello, Hamster Samurai! Hello, Diggs, welcome back. Do you like them? Are they tasty? Would you consume this pike? I don't know if I've ever eaten pike. Is pike a fish that you eat, or is that just one that like people catch and then throw back in? I don't eat a lot of freshwater fish, so I'm not super familiar with them. Okay, I think that is looking good. I definitely want to darken this a little bit because it got super pale. There we go. That is so much more the color it needed to be. Thank you. I say to myself because there's no one else in this room with me, actually. I was really hoping that, like, maybe Chaos Cultist was, like, behind me or something, and that he'd be like, yeah, there is. But that's okay. Alright, that is looking good, looking even, looking consistent. We're gonna let it dry for a moment before we do anything else. We just need to make sure that contrast paint is dry. Yes, all of you are actually just in spirit hanging out with me in the room. That makes sense. You know what? In fact, let's switch over to full screen. We gotta let this thing dry anyways. There's no reason to have it, you know, sitting there with me just awkwardly holding it, right? Let me make sure to mute Discord. I don't think my Discord's on right now, but just in case, we'll go ahead and mute that. See, bass sounds like, honestly, a more thrilling catch anyways, but I think that's just because they're typically larger. I don't think... Do pikes get that big? I don't actually know. The problem would be finding time to do video calls with patrons for painting. Like, maybe as a group thing, but it'd be about finding the time. It's not a bad idea, though, Ben. I'll definitely keep it in mind. Oh, fish and chips is so good. I am also a fan of fish and chips. I'm sure that, like, what I've had is fish and chips and what, say, like, true fish and chips connoisseurs have had are probably, like, very different, but fries... fried not shrimp, fried fish. So good, so good. I'm actually a big fan of, when it comes to fish, I actually really like poke as a meal with fish in it. Because it's just sashimi, basically. Then you put it over, like it's cubed protein of some variety. I typically go with ahi, tuna, and shrimp. And then you can get, like, a variety of different toppings, which ranges from, like, various vegetables or fruits to other things. And then it's, like, a base of some sort of rice. It's really good. If you've never had poke, I highly, highly recommend it. It's delicious. I know it's also probably not available everywhere because it's I think it's actually Hawaiian. I think it's a Hawaiian food. Is curry sausage just sausage, like, with a curry base around it? Or is it, like, is there curry inside? I'm not a huge fan of curry, personally. Like, I can eat it, but the smell actually gets to me a little bit. Oh my god, I can only imagine you probably have great selection for fish and chips, Michael. Okami, I feel like there's, oh, it was the Addams Family with the Wednesday show. They had that, Wednesday and... What is his name? The brother. Why am I forgetting his name? They went fishing and they used dynamite. I understand completely. Power fishing? What the hell is power fishing? Is that... Are you just like in a really aggressive water where there's just so many fish that they're constantly biting? Or are you doing something to the bait to like make them more like, oh man, I need this? I'm very curious. Oh, that sounds good, Michael. Pugsley, thank you, Kami. Yes, that was his name. Pugsley and her were sitting on a lakeside and they were throwing dynamite into the lake to kill the fish, or to fish for the fish. Oh, it's just a term? Okay. I thought it was like a specific type of, like you were doing something to your bait to just make it super tantalizing, and it just made it like, you non-stop. But I understand what I think you mean. I don't think I've ever had fish and chips that use beef drippings in it. Oh, that sounds like it could be like really tasty or possibly really, like you're describing it as very delicious. I'm just like, I'm such a texture eater, so I don't know if something tasting like beef when it's definitely fish, which is a very different texture of beef, what that would do to my like sense of taste, like the flavor, you know what I mean? But I'm intrigued because it sounds delicious. I had speaking of beef flavored things that ended up like with just being amazing. I had a steak salad once that nothing about that salad tasted anything except like steak. Like it had basic, like the most basic green lettuce and like other, you know, standard lettuce or salad toppings and such for just a house salad. But it was topped with like the best steak I'd ever taken or eaten, and they tossed the lettuce in the like drippings from the steak, so it just tasted like steak, everything. And that's, you want to get your kids to eat greens, just base everything in steak drippings. Fascinating. I mean, I'm not surprised. Fishing is like such an old sport, right? There's going to be so many different like, it's not like speed. I am not surprised that speed is a thing in fishing these days, and that like, oh, that sounds so cool. I've only done fishing very irregularly in my life. I did it a little bit when I was a kid. We were like nearby a lake and somebody we knew had a boat, so we would occasionally go and do fish there. I think I caught a catfish while doing it, and then we ate it, and I can't remember if I liked it. I don't think I did, because I think it was too fishy. You know what I mean? Like how freshwater fish can be really fishy flavored, as opposed to some saltwater fishes, which are a lot more mild in their fishiness. And so, yeah. We have come full circle back to Christopher Lee, apparently. Oh man, bacon drippings. Exactly, the same idea. Same idea. Just everything coated in bacon drippings. So good. 7 degrees of Christopher Lee. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we are basically at time, which is kind of what I anticipated. I'm actually very pleased. We've got some good work done on the miniatures. He is looking lovely. We got some color onto his outfit, which is honestly the thing that's the bulk of his outfit, so it works. It actually filled up a lot of the model. I am so glad to finally have this guy done. He's completely table ready. I just need to base both him and the prince. They're both looking fantastic. I might do a little bit more work on him. I haven't fully decided yet. Chaos Cultist was making some suggestions while I was showing it to him on my break, and I don't disagree with him. But I also kind of want to move on with more of these characters and get them all done, because I want to wrap this up before Shatterpoint comes out so that I don't feel as bad about it. That's probably not going to happen. I'm probably going to end up moving on to Shatterpoint well before I actually finish these, but who knows? We'll see what happens. I hope that you guys have enjoyed hanging out with me, chatting about food. Clearly, we're all hungry. What I've learned from today's stream is that we're all a little bit hungry and we should all get something to eat. Because we were chatting so much about food today. I enjoyed our Star Wars conversations, though. Those are always, always fun. I will see you guys tomorrow for another pro wrestling live stream with the Chaos Cultist. You can expect that in the evening. And then you can expect a new video out this Friday, as well as just all of the standard content you can be expecting. So I hope you are looking forward to that. And to those of you that are here on YouTube, hello. Thank you for getting to the end of the stream and the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button. If you don't want to miss these in the future, subscribe for more. Don't forget to hit that bell icon for notifications, and I will see all of you next time. Thank you guys in chat, everybody who has been here. There have been so many of you today, and I really, really appreciate it. So you guys are the best. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!